Hi there, it's Mrs. Inmick again. I have just a little more to tell you about our influential reformers. So we've got reforms in education. This is really when we start to see the public school movement take off. And these two guys have a lot to do with it. Over here, we've got Henry Barnard pulling his best Santa Claus impersonation, apparently, and Horace Mann over here on the right. They are both, you can see, both from New England, and we've kind of always seen that influence of education be a little bit stronger in New England ever since the colonial days. So that shouldn't surprise you that we see our push for public school here in New England. So Henry Barnard and Horace Mann are both really responsible for pushing for public supported education for all. And they are really credited with giving the idea of public schools that are supported by tax dollars. So I definitely think these guys are influential. Without them, I probably wouldn't be here right now. And for that matter, neither would you. You would have probably been forced to be working at this point in the game and out making money. So I know you may not enjoy school all the time, but it is a pretty remarkable thing in this country that we offer this for everyone, and by law, especially later in the 1970s, we'll see laws passed, and in the 60s and 70s, things like the Elementary and Secondary Education Act that provide services for all students with disabilities, whether they be mental, physical, and really the roots of that are back here with these two guys and their vision of creating an completely equality for education, a society in America that honors that. We also have improved printing techniques. So we're going to see new magazines and periodicals like the New York Sun and the New York Herald, and there will be others, of course, that follow, but that's going to spur the development of more learning and the dissemination of culture and literature. And colleges will even change to become a little more relevant to the times. They're going to align their curriculum slightly. We'll really see that pick up a little bit more at the turn of the century, but it's at least starting here. So now what? Your task is to examine the writers, artists, and reformers that were just discussed here, and also dig around in chapters 10 and 11 a bit and look for some more specific information. You will need to rank these people from who is the most influential to who is the least influential. This is not easy. There's really not a right answer on this. I want you to be ready to back it up. I want you to be ready to defend your choice, argue a bit, but you need to explain who do you think here that we just mentioned, whose influence do we see the most today in our society. So like I said, there's really not a right or wrong here. For a complete list, I'll show you what you need to do. For a complete list, if you go to my website and you go to categories APUSH right there to kind of feed out everything else. Okay, here is our post with our homework right there at the top for you. But if you scroll down to our Unit 5 packet where all of our notes are, okay, right here where it says Judicial Nationalism and Reform Movements, you click on that and that will give you a list of all of our reformers. So there they are. This first slide, of course, is our court cases we already discussed. Here are the reformers we're going to discuss. Except, oh my gosh, I don't have Horace Mann on there. We definitely need to throw Horace Mann on for sure. So add Horace Mann, but other than that, these are reformers, the main ones we're going to talk about, writers, artists, or reformers. So there you go. So those are the ones we're going to be ranking tomorrow as far as their influence that we feel them today. All right, so that is basically what you need to do. And with that,